UG channel. Robert Kisakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back on this beautiful Saturday night / evening, depending on where you're joining us from. It's a very, very entertaining weekend of football in which Chelsea have been beaten by 2 goals to 1 against Sunderland in a stunning turn of events or in a surprise result from tonight. Then also we did witness Manchester United overcome Brighton, beating them by 4 goals to 2. At one point it was 3-2. People had started thinking maybe Brighton are going to fight their way back into this one, but Manchester United managed to hold on, and they managed to see that game through and won it by 4 goals to 2. Brandon Bomo picking up a brace in that game, while Matthias Cunha also got off the mark at long last for Manchester United. In quite spectacular style. And then of course, you had Casemiro also score. While Danny Welbeck struck against his former bosses, you also had Costolas also on target there for Brighton, but it did not count. It turned out to be mere consolations. Anyways, as we speak, in the course of the interval, it was 2-1 for Liverpool. Liverpool on the losing end. They went 2 goals down. And yes, like Pedro is saying, Liverpool losing. My prediction was a 3-1 victory for Liverpool, but I've been very, very disappointed in the way that they did start the game. By the 50th minute, they had conceded from a set piece. It was a long throw in. They couldn't deal with it. It's flicked on, and Dango Ouattara was there to convert, who was by the suspect in that consolation that they did concede prior to halftime through Milos Kakes, with Hugo Ekitike providing the assist with his flick on. You say Barcelona will win 3 up against Real Madrid. In my personal opinion, I went for a 2-1 prediction in favor of Real Madrid. I think there's plenty to correct for Xabi Alonso. There's everything to correct for Xabi Alonso because we know that this El Clasico is partly one of the reasons as to why Real Madrid decided to let go of Carlo Ancelotti at the tail end of last season. Yes. Pedri, please bear with me. My opinion in this case, I'm giving an objective opinion. It's not about who I support. I'm trying to give my objective opinion. But in terms of wishfulness or wishing you well, of course I would wish you well on any given day. I know how much you want Barcelona to reclaim that top slot that Real Madrid reclaimed just recently. So I know what the game means to you. I know what the El Clasico means to both sides of the aisle in terms of the fans that do follow this particular game. So you will see tomorrow. You will see. Indeed, we will watch the game. I'm hoping that because this is a game that is going to start in the second half, I think of some of those Premier League games that will be kicking off at 5 p.m. because I think it comes around at 6 p.m. That's when it is going to come. So, yeah, I will be at it. I will be there to follow the conversation, and I hope that the result will be as you predicted. They're mere predictions. We do get them wrong sometimes. Particularly today, I thought Chelsea would win 2-1 against Sunderland. It was the reverse. My prediction was a 2-1 victory for Manchester United, the 1-4-2. My prediction was a 2-1 victory for Newcastle. They won that way, 2-1. It was a 3-1 victory for Liverpool. Look at them. They are 9 goals. They went 2 goals behind in the opening half. If it hadn't been for Milos Kakes at the tail end of the first half, I do not know what the situation would have been, in that sort of case, in that sort of realm. So look at it that way, or with those lenses, please. And if if my words fail me, please see my intentions. If words fail me, please see my heart, where I'm coming from when I'm giving these predictions. For example, if it were about wishfulness, I'd say Arsenal are going to win 5-0 against Crystal Palace. But I know it's not going to be that easy, you know. Are they capable of doing so? Yes. But do I expect it to go that way, given how Crystal Palace have behaved in recent times? No, obviously not. I do not expect it to go down that way. So it's just the objective, you know, part of me. Also, earlier on, we did enjoy Napoli beating up against Inter Milan by 3 goals to 1. Uh, uh, what's his name? The goal scorer for the third goal for Napoli. Oh, his name eludes me. His name eludes me. But Scott McTominay was one of those on target. And then Chanlolu scored from the penalty spot for what turned out to be a mere consolation in that game for Inter Milan. What's his name? The dark skinned guy with dreads. Oh, his name eludes me. His name eludes me. But yeah, we'll get to talk about that. But yeah, I do. Real will lose. I support my team, please. You will see tomorrow. You will see. Yeah, Pedri, I'm with you on this one. But like I said, I just try to give my objective opinion. But Liverpool are starting off on the front foot in this one. They want to fight their way back because Arne Slot has it all to do in as far as this evening is concerned. Otherwise, it could be a very, very long weekend for him or a very long week. Remember, Liverpool returned to action in midweek against Crystal Palace. I think that will be on Wednesday. In the fourth round of the EFL Cup, Arsenal will be playing at home, I think, against Brighton and Hove Albion in the EFL Cup. So again, Danny Welbeck once again will be facing his former bosses like he was today. But for now, let's follow the events from the second half of that game between Liverpool and Brentford. As we speak, it's still it's still Liverpool 1, Brentford 2 as we go through that phase of play. You'll indulge me. I'll need to check something in the course of this particular episode. But yeah, I hope we are right. I hope we are right. We are already into the 49th minute, by the way, but it's still 2-1 in favor of Brentford. You know how much the sports person in me who predicted this game to end 3-1 in favor of Liverpool would hope that Liverpool wins 3-2. But the Arsenal fan in me would rather Liverpool lose. You know? And guess what? As we speak, Man United are above Liverpool because Man United have climbed to fourth place on the Premier League log, just below Manchester City on goal difference. You know, earlier on, Sunderland's victory 2-1 against Chelsea took them to second place on 17 points, just 2 points behind the table leaders Arsenal. So you can understand, it's not a conundrum, but that kind of position. You know, Man City are in action tomorrow, still at 5 p.m. against Aston Villa. So there's indeed plenty for us to look forward to. But yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening on that front. So I hope you can bear with me on this one. I hope you can bear with me on this one. Otherwise, I hope you've had a wonderful day. I saw Rio Oviedo shared the spoils in a 3-all draw against Girona. But I mean, by the way, Liverpool have been shambolic. In that first half, they lacked control in that midfield. I thought they were losing the ball one too often. When you look at the second goal that they conceded with Kevin Schade scoring, I don't know, was it Soboslai? They lose the ball. I think it was it Damsgaard who plays a splitter, that goes through in behind Konate. He kept on chasing and he just couldn't get there, until he gave up. Until he gave up and let Kevin Schade have his goal at goal. And it turned out to be that, and it turned out to be that. So that's how Brentford went 2-0 up in the opening stanza. So uh, Liverpool are continuously lacking that cutting edge that they had last season. That ruthlessness is no longer there. And I do not know what to point to exactly, but you felt there were so many misplaced passes in the first half. Brentford were very, very combative. They fought for the 50-50s, much better than Liverpool. The manager said no shots throw-ins. That's Keith Andrews. Uh, they have to go for the long throw-in and try and trouble Liverpool. So, again, but let's see if Liverpool can fight their way back into this one. We've seen games end 2-1 in the first half, and then the second half ends up fruitless without any goals, or even key moments to talk about. Because if you're Brentford, again, you're going to try and to play with a bit of containment, look for the chance to pounce, because you are ahead in this game. You are ahead in this game, so everything is in your favor. Oh, you know, that's what you're looking to get in this particular game. Because Chelsea, the domination I'd hoped they would have in that midfield was never there. Granit Xhaka bowled them out, literally. So Moises Caicedo did not have the performance you'd want him to have on any given day. It wasn't anything of the kind of performances he's put in against, Liverpool and among other fixtures. So eventually they lost. Alejandro Garnacho squad, what turned out to be a mere consolation for Chelsea, was withdrawn as early as the 58th minute for William Esteval. Didn't feel so good about that, but Mariscard made his decision. Not that it even paid off, because at the end of the day, they couldn't find the back of the net. Or he couldn't find the back of the net. Salah can't even cross the ball well at this stage. He can't cross the ball well, you know. He's had a couple of blind ones. By the way, I thought Liverpool should have had a penalty in the first half. That tackle on Cody Gakpo, I thought maybe, just maybe, it should have been a penalty. I thought it should have been a penalty, in my opinion. But of course, the referee disregarded the incident. VAR reviewed it and considered there was no clear and obvious error from the referee, so they let it slide. But I thought it should have been a penalty, because based on the review that I saw of the incident, I did not see the defender touch the ball. I did not see that, and yet he makes contact with Cody Gakpo. So I thought maybe he should have been given a penalty, because it was. I mean, it is what it is. But Liverpool are living dangerously. Igor Tudor is giving them. Sorry, not Igor Tudor. Thiago is giving them, a lot of trouble in that box. I don't know, for some reason, Brentford are finding lots of spaces in behind Liverpool. Finding that space. Of course, in the pivot of Brentford is Jordan Henderson, who used to play for Liverpool, won major trophies with them as captain, the Premier League title, the Champions League, and other cup competitions. So, yeah. Liverpool are being given a run for their money. Keith Andrews is in dreamland because on Monday they beat up against West Ham by 2-0, while Liverpool were busy losing in their previous weekend. More than twice, Georgi Mamadashvili has been called into brilliant saves in the first half against Damsgaard. Then in the second half, also he's been called into action on a couple of occasions. The way Brentford are confronting Liverpool, literally closing them down on every ball. It's incredible. You'll have to see it. They are denying them spaces to play, especially from outside of their from the inside of their own half. They're denying them their space. They're literally crowding that space around the 18 yards box. Oh, that's a brilliant save. That's a brilliant save. Oh, Mo Salah stamped on somebody's foot. Ah, that's dangerous. Oh, it's a free kick from a very, very juicy area. I do not know if Brentford has somebody that has the capability of striking those from that kind of distance, but I would say it's in a sweet spot. Georgi Mamadashvili should really, really prepare himself. Otherwise, it could be a color on him to the far post, downwards. I mean, guys, if your feed is ahead of mine, in case what I comment about you feel is slightly behind, please bear with me. Please bear with me as please bear with me because my feed is slightly a little behind, couple of seconds, if not a complete minute, due to my source, due to my source. Sometimes free kicks feel like a waste of time, if I'm being honest, guys. They spend a lot of time organizing the wall. Those are bound to take the free kick, talking to each other about. Oh, could this be converted into a penalty? Oh, the suggestions of a penalty. Liverpool will feel really, really hard done by. If he goes to the monitor, chances are he's going to change his decision because it's literally like an unwritten some rule of some form or shape. And within the Premier League, that was the referee said to the monitor, it's more like he's been told, change your decision, But let's wait and see. When he goes to the monitor, it's a penalty. It is a penalty. A bit harsh, but it is what it is. And it's 3-1 in favor of Brentford. They restore their 2-goal cushion because it's been made a penalty. Anna Slot won't take this one down easily, but it is what it is. Igor Thiago, the man sent to to the sport, who converts from the sport to make it 3-1 in favor of Brentford. For somebody that predicted that Liverpool will win 3-1, God, sometimes I feel like giving up on predictions, you know, because these guys make me look bad. So bad, so bad. It's 3-1. And Liverpool could be on the verge of losing their fourth game in a row. Fourth game in a row in the Premier League. Fourth game in a row. I mean, last season, they lost 4 games across the entire season. What's gone so wrong, so bad, so quickly? And, you know, remember, remember my prediction was for Brentford, that Brentford would be one of the teams relegated, finishing 18th. But the way they are winning games on Monday, oh, so many changes made. McAllister on, Chiesa on, Andy Robertson on, McAllister is being brought on. Quick changes are brought. Wow. Wow. Does it have to get this bad? But let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Milos Kakis is one of those that have been withdrawn. 3 changes. He will be desperate to rescue points, because it's one thing to lose 1-2 games in a row, 3 and then 4 for the reigning champions. Scandalous. Almost scandalous. Given how, and this is what I said at the start of the season. Of course, I did not expect that Liverpool would be in this kind of position that they are in. But when I was making my prediction on who will win the Premier League title, and of course I gave it to Arsenal, whether they go on to win it or not, that's a whole different story. But my reservation about Liverpool, as good as the team they have, as much as they spent during the course of the summer, was that Arne Slot is going to be under so much pressure, because he delivered last season with that kind of squad, and now that squad has been improved. And yet, financially, in terms of what they've spent, he's going to be under more pressure to then prove himself literally with better resources in comparison to what he had last season. That's what it's going to boil down to. And here we are, Florian Wirtz, what's his name? Alexander Isak, their 2 most expensive buys, are yet to gel into this team, are yet to fit into that team. You look, of course, they spent on a left back, they brought in a goalkeeper, they brought in a defender. That's Giovanni Leoni, who suffered an anterior cruciate ligament from Parma. Jeremy Frimpong, who suffered literally injury after injury, which hasn't really worked in their favor. It hasn't helped their ambitions. But the loss of Luis Diaz, I thought, was going to be significant. May his soul rest in peace, Diego Jota. But those 2 departures from the squad, I think, were underestimated, were underrated. And then the impact of the absence of Alexander Trent-Arnold. It's not to say he would have played 38 out of 38 games. That isn't the case. Nor is he doing it at Real Madrid, because he suffered his fair share of injuries. But his significance in that team was really, up there. Wow. Liverpool really want to hammer it in. Liverpool really want to hammer it in. But it's block after block. Brentford are putting their bodies on the line. Brentford are putting their bodies on the line. Meanwhile, Ugo Ekitike, with all his height, has never given us, Headed call. How come? Wow. Liverpool are being torn apart. They're being ripped to shreds. On the counter, breaking their lines, denying them the opportunity to play out from the back that confidence, allowing them to string, more than 7, 8 passes. It's just not happening for Liverpool. It's just not happening for Liverpool. It's still 3-1 in favor of Brentford. Jesus Christ. I didn't think we would be here. I did not see it in a million years. He was told there was no easy games in the Premier League, and he glided through majority last season, and now he's learning the hard way. But yeah, games can be hard in the Premier League. It's a bit of a rude awakening. Oh, thought Kevin Shada should have gone for a shot there. Really. You know how the Premier League sort of introduced that sort of mini winter break, um, especially after Christmas. And Ancelot would wish this was around that period for them to take a breather. Otherwise, the November international break can't come soon enough for him. The November international break cannot come soon enough for him. Uh-oh. Mosala can't get even its voice. Jesus Christ. I mean, the meltdown among Liverpool fans, you're going to love to see this weekend. If they do lose, the meltdown. Is it called the Anfield stand or the Anfield something? You're going to love to watch that. You're going to love to watch that. At what point does it become crisis? I think losing 4 in a row in the Premier League, that does qualify for crisis. That does qualify for crisis. And we will be discussing it. Should the game end in defeat for Liverpool? Oh, blocks. Riongo Moha is being introduced. And what does that mean for Liverpool's midfield? McAllister, could you pull backwards? Yes, sir. Wasn't Cody Gakpo withdrawn? Let's see. Among the early changes that were made, Cody Gakpo went off for Chiesa. Gomoho comes on for Jones. Alexis McAllister came on. Robertson. So who do we put in midfield? We're already into the 71st minutes of the game. But yeah, it's concerning to say the least. It's concerning to say the least. You know. But at one point, we're going to have to call it what it is. It will be Liverpool in crisis. And the more we enter into those sort of minutes around the 80th minute mark, the more Brentford are going to look at this as 3 points in the back. So they will look to, waste time, start fouling more Liverpool players, try and kill the momentum, the pace and things like that, you know. Salah is having a bad season. Very, very unfortunate. Not the kind of season he would have loved to have. Not the kind of season he would have loved to have. Man, like you tried to protect the ball to go out for the corner. It didn't. You lost, you conceded possession. And then suddenly there were no plays against you. How do you reconcile with that? Salah is looking for that space to go for goals. He's looking for that inch of space, but he just can't find it. There's just too many legs to run through. And if he runs through the first pair, there's the next pair. And that's Brentford central area. It's so crowded with so many legs, so many bodies. It's so crowded. You can hardly find any space through. I mean, at every time they have at least 5 bodies in that box. They have at least 5 bodies in that box. Remember, United came here and got beat 3-1. Manchester City came here and won 1-0 without Erling Haaland, but they had to grind it up. So Liverpool have come here and they are being made to sneeze plasma. Oh, come on. Ah, and by the way, because of the quality they have in their squad, we all keep hoping that, or thinking that Liverpool are suddenly going to wake up and go on this magnificent run of wins. What if it doesn't? What if they become the United of yesterday or the Tottenham Hotspurs of last season? I'm just saying, what if? I'm just saying, what if? I'm not saying that's going to be the case. Uh-oh. Mama Dashville, do you have to risk it that way? Yes, sir. You're rolling the ball with the back heel. You don't even know who is in your direction. You do not even know who is there. But you think you can just flick that ball on. It's not pretty. Play it back to me. Who is there to attack the ball? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Gomaho ran into more legs. It's just too many legs in that Brentford box. That should be a yellow card. What's a high boot? It's a high boot. Shouldn't even be wondering whether it's a contact or not. Liverpool are struggling to play through tight spaces. That's what I'm realizing. They are really, really struggling to play through tight spaces. I mean, credit to Brentford. They are crowding. Oh, Liverpool needed another consolation. But they must realize early enough that these long corner kicks are not working in their favor. But then also, they ought to increase a little bit on the tempo of the game. They are to get something out of this one. Feel the tempo is to the comfort of Brentford. They're not rushing them enough. Wow. Let's see, let's see. Can Liverpool find a way through? So far, there are no signs that they will. There are no signs. Zero signs. Oh, it's growing increasingly unlikely that Liverpool will find the breakthrough that they would have loved to have. It's increasingly becoming unlikely that they will get hurt. We already into the 81st minute of the game. Of course, Brentford, they too have made some of their changes, withdrawing the likes of Kevin Shada, and and they know that they are close to the finishing line. 10 more minutes, or they're about to play. And if they can go through the next 10 minutes, then it's all 3 points are theirs for the taking. That's what they're going to be concentrating on. That's what they're going to be thinking. They're going to start those little shenanigans of, wasting a couple of seconds here and there, fall down for injury, request for treatment, or, you know. Oh, can Mo Salah make something out of this one? Let's see. Come on. Brandwich is too, I don't know. Sometimes he looks, wants to take that simple touch, and it never pays off. It never pays off. He wants to be as soft as Mesut Ozil, but I do not think it's in his aim. When you look at Mo Salah, the way he plays these days, his confidence is gone down. He does not believe he can take on players anymore, especially at this stage. They go to try and shoot from distance every time they get a little space in and around the area. But they're taking extra 1-2 touches and then at the end of the day, it's not paying off. Uh-oh. Dango Water has looked dangerous in this game. Could have done better in certain moments, but I mean, wow, so close and it's so far. I mean, 16 attempts on goal, 8 on target, and only 3 for Liverpool. I mean, 8 attempts on targets and only 3 for Liverpool. Wow, wow, wow. What a night of football. And tomorrow action is plenty more to come, including the El Clasico at 6:15 p.m. But among the games that come in the Premier League at 5 p.m. is Arsenal at home against Crystal Palace. Manchester City away to Villa Park against Aston Villa. Wolverhampton Wanderers are going to be at home against Burnley. There's another fixture there. Bournemouth up against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, and then later on there will be Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur. So all that action will be coming your way tomorrow. That little bit of pace. Again, then just a second or a microsecond late with the pass, with a second unnecessary touch, when you think they should be shooting straight away. Having the ball caught under their feet. If you're Anna Slot, what are you thinking in this moment? What are you thinking? Because I'm not sure tonight is going to be the kind of game where he complains about long balls and stuff like that. Now, Brentford have been the better team all night in every little aspect of this game. They have been the better team when it came to pressing for the ball, when it came to creating chances, when it came to having shots on goal, when it came to breaking play, when it came to defending. I mean, they've just been the better side across the entire pitch in all moments. Uh-oh. Yep. Sooner or later, we're going into stoppage time. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, Liverpool are facing off with their former goalkeeper, Coleman Kelleher. So, I mean, he's bound to walk away with all the bragging rights. You remember when Emiliano Martinez left Arsenal and went to Aston Villa and said he did not see it as a downgrade, he saw it as an upgrade. Goal in 3-2, Mo Salah finds a way, it's 3-2. Isn't that his third goal of the season? His last penalty was against Burnley. First goal since the opening night of the season against Bournemouth. Remember, he scored the fourth goal in that game after Federico Chiesa had scored to make it 3-2. Let's see. Meanwhile, I think Salah, is he or was he in my fantasy team? I need to check. I haven't checked that in weeks. Uh-oh. 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 Liverpool are ball watching inside their own box. Meanwhile, 7 minutes were added into play, and yeah, we are coming closer and closer to the finishing line. Can Liverpool find a way to snatch at least at least a point out of this game? Can they find a way to snatch at least a point? I mean, God knows they need it. Yep, Brentford wasting their time, taking their time. They know they don't need to rush this. I do not. If I'm Liverpool, I keep at least two players, one or two players, really, really up front there, ready to go for the counter attack. Oh, isn't that a handball? Like, oh, no handball. But there's an elbow by Virgil van Dijk. I mean, sometimes I feel in those situations you're hard done by. You're jumping, hardly can you jump to defend the ball and your arms are straight by your body. There's a way you're supposed they spread in the process involuntarily to give you that bit of support in the air. And yeah, sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult. Wow. Ego Thiago are still undergoing treatment, and that's why there's a moment of silence and everything that like that. But yeah, yep, deserved to get booked there. Louis Potter, and he knows what he was doing. He was intentional to try and delay the quick restart and everything. There's a way Brentford just put that ball in the air in for Ego, Thiago, and any Brentford forward to run up to. George Madbashvili should have done better there. Yep, it's a nail-biting saga down here for Liverpool and all the Liverpool fans out there. Because we're into the 97th minute. Remember, 7 minutes were added, but because of the treatment that Igor Thiago had to undergo, we'll stretch up into the 90 something, 99th minute or so. When you're having a bad day in office, everything goes wrong, including a simple pass to your own teammates. It goes bad. It goes to ruins. That's what Dominic Soboslai has just had to go through. And yeah, we are waiting for. Why did he go for goal? It's game over. It's all over. Liverpool beaten 3-2 in favor over Brentford. That's 4 defeats in a row for the Premier League reigning champions. 4 games in the row for the Premier League reigning champions. They could not find a way through to pick a point in this particular game. Last season, they lost a tally of 4 games across the entire campaign, losing to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, losing to Fulham, losing to, I think, Arsenal. Then the other was, I think, against Nottingham Forest. Those were the games that they lost. But they have been beaten by Brentford by 3 goals to 2. What a poor display. What a poor performance from the reigning champions. Like I did say, they did not do anything right. In my opinion, they did everything wrong. They could just not string a set of 10, 15 passes. Uh, they could just not fight for the 50-50s well enough. Um, you always felt like every time Brentford went forward, they looked more likely to score than when it was the reverse. So many things didn't go their way. I mean, the Liverpool have it all to do. 4 losses in a row. I do not remember the last time that happened to Liverpool, but goals from Dango Ouattara, Kevin Chada, and Thiago were enough to see that Brentford beat up against Liverpool by 3 goals to 2. Milos and Mo Salah on target for what turns out to be the consolations for what turned out to be the consolations for Liverpool. Their XG was evenly matched 2.2 to 2.21 to 2.21, but we know that at the end of the day, it was Brentford that were the better side. Of course, they did not dominate possession, but when it came to fighting for the 50-50s, winning the ball back, they were just frustrating Liverpool, killing any sort of momentum that Liverpool looked to build and things in that line. Ball possession, Liverpool won it 66% compared to Brentford is about 34. Then you look at shots on target, 17 for Brentford, with 8 of those coming on target, while Liverpool only had 5 on target. But in the end, they had equally 17. So again, corner kicks, it was 5 against 4 in favor of Brentford. In the 9 minutes of the game, Liverpool really tried to give a go for it to try and find that equalizer, but it did elude them, and they caught 3 goals to 2 on the night. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. It was not their night, and yeah, that's how it ended. Liverpool fans, we are sorry. I wish LFC was here with us to tell us what he made of that game and everything in that regard. But yeah, it's been that kind of day. Like I told you, Manchester United earlier on won their game against Brighton and Hove Albion. Matthias Cunha, Casemiro, of course, his ball was deflected, but the goal stood for him. Brandon Bomo with the burst were enough to beat up against Brighton by 4 goals to 2, with Danny Welbeck and Costolas on target for Brighton in that one. Then in the early kickoffs, like I told you, Newcastle beat up against Fulham by 2 goals to 1, with Jacob Murphy and Bruno Guimaraes on target for the home side, while Sasa Lukic had scored in the 56th minute to cancel out what had been the lead by Jacob Murphy. So that goal by Bruno Guimaraes came in the 90th minute. While in the other early game, Sunderland beat up against Chelsea by 2 goals to 1. Alejandro Garnacho on target in the 4th minute for Chelsea, while Isidro as well as Talaubi were on target to win it for Sunderland. That goal for Sunderland came in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. In an incredible turn of events. So United win, Chelsea beat, Liverpool beaten. Otherwise, allow me to wish you a blessed night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we can digest this. Bye bye for now.